And here again on Tuesday evening is the Mass Comedian X cast. I'm Mass Comedian X. Alongside me, Big Ace. Good afternoon, Big Ace.
Hello. How's it going?
It's a, it is afternoon after all. Man, I'll tell you what a week. And what a weekend. Holy cow. So I had a guy on Friday
Yo, what?
with my car.
Nice.
Hit a guy on Friday with my car, yeah, and then
Like, wait,
came
wait, wait,
home.
wait. Like, when you say you hit a guy, did you just hit another person with your car, like their car, or did you hit like a pedestrian with your car?
I had, yeah, it was a truck.
What's that?
I mean, it's not like I'm hesitating because I'm just hesitating to try to figure out exactly how to explain what happened. It was at a yield sign, okay, and on a highway, and we're waiting. And I'm like, okay, we're waiting. And I'm waiting behind this guy, and I'm like, oh God, why don't you go? And then all of a sudden, his brake lights go off. He starts leaving. I immediately look back over my shoulder because it's at a yield sign, and I have to wait. And I mean, and then I didn't look back up. But I see an opening. I hit the gas. Boom! This guy hadn't moved. Even though he started taking off, he didn't move. He stopped again, and then just didn't move. So smacked him pretty good, but I was able to kind of shove everything back. Thank God for Korean cars and their crunch panel, because I smacked him pretty good. But I was able to get it back in there. You can tell exactly where I hit it, but you can't tell, you know. But anyway, yeah, so that started off a fine week. I did go to the Twins game
Yeah.
I went on Sunday afternoon with my son and daughter-in-law, and we took my 3.5-year-old grandson, and surprisingly, he made it past the fourth inning before we had to. Only because it's like, man, he just was. There's nothing for him to do, But I wanted to take him to a ball game, Grandpa, before I die.
One of the rare things
I'm
for
gonna
me
die.
is
What?
like, I'm surprised I can make it past the fourth inning at a baseball game. Like, I get bored too. Like, I literally only go to Twins games to get the big helmet, and I think they do it at every stadium because I got it in Anaheim too last year. Just the giant batter's helmet full of nachos. Like, that's literally why I pay for my cheap seat. Like, I don't care about the game. Two shits about it. Once I'm done with the nachos, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna walk around for a little while, burn these chips off, maybe get some more food, and then, like I said, usually by the fifth, sixth inning, I'm like, can we go? Like, why are we still here?
Yeah.
Does it really matter who wins? Like, it's gonna be 4 more hours. Let's just get out of here.
And I gotta tell you, man, I'm cheap. Although I did do this. There's a parking app, and you can reserve. Well, you don't reserve the spot. Reserve a spot in the parking garage. So literally, I mean, it cost us normal, but we got to pay in advance, so we didn't have to go down and, I wonder if we can get in there. So that worked good. But I think we were also lucky because of the state fair.
Yeah.
State fair was going on at the same time. Anyway.
A lot of big happenings going on in Minnesota this week.
Yep, that's true. Minnesota State Fair. Twins are in the pennant race, 3.5 games ahead of Vikings. Have another game coming up on Thursday. They play Buffalo, and of course we've got all sorts of wrestling this weekend. And I'm just, I mean, I got to tell you this too. So I got booked on a show in Hard Rock Casino, Sioux City, Iowa. And Yeah, it's August 30th. I said, yeah, okay. Didn't even give it a second thought that it was the night of All Out. And so, basically, I was like, oh, hell, what the hell am I going to do? And thank on, I think it was Saturday afternoon, I got a nice little text, and it said, they're moving it back a week. What do you think? And I said, okay, baby, I'll do it.
It's like it was meant to be.
Now I can. Well, yeah. So now, because I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go back, and I'm gonna, gosh, I'm gonna have to watch and replay, and do I have to wait till I get home? Because I'm not driving myself. And anyway, so that's it. And then, then the early part of this week has just sort of been a bust. It's all been a big hassle. But
I'll tell you what, I'm in
Tuesday, and it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the same boat as far as your hassle for All Out, because I was gonna go. Like, my intent was to go. And then when they announced the date and the tickets were going on sale, I was like, yeah. Then I looked and I was like, shoot, I actually have to DJ a wedding that evening.
Oh no,
that day. So I won't. Which is going to be the worst, because I cannot look at my phone now. That means during the wedding, which I'm not gonna lie, when I DJ weddings, a lot of phone looking going on because you get bored until like the real action happens later in the evening. So I'm not happy about it, but it was also good money. So I will not be watching All Out till Sunday during that when I just watched the replay on the Bleacher Report app. I think it's on.
Yeah, Be Alive.
Yeah, it's I'm in the same boat, but it's gonna be hard not to like spoil anything on this show on Saturday and and the Sunday morning. Like, it's gonna be super hard. But I feel, I don't know, and we'll get into it later, but there's been a couple changes going on now on the show and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's just a bummer, because it's gonna, this is the next big one. This is the big kickoff pay-per-view before they go on to TV. So it's kind of like,
yes,
this thing's gonna be great. I wish I could watch it live, but it's all right. I'll get to watch it. It's gonna suck not looking at my phone. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yes, it is. It is. I got to tell you. So let's first start off. Of course, King of the Ring is dragging on. And here's another thing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but was the Clash of Champions not champion versus champion last year?
The what? No, it wasn't. I don't believe.
It wasn't?
I don't believe it. I also don't really remember.
What pay-per-view is it where they do where they do champion versus champion?
It used to be Night of Champions, which would be every match was a championship match. I'm not 100% sure what this Clash of Champions is. They did it last year, you said, right? Yeah.
I think they did it last year. I don't recall, because they changed stuff around so much. I get so confused by it. But I think, as I recall, last year it wasn't it Brock against AJ? Was it Brock against Daniel Bryan? Both of them. There were two of them, and they had those Universal versus WWE champion. They were fantastic matches, but I'm like, I thought that was Clash of Champions.
Well, it looks like the last Clash of Champions was 2017. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay,
AJ
so maybe
Styles, Charlotte
Flair
totally on the poster. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I guess I could be wrong. This is what Wikipedia's showing, so which would be weird, because then that means they skipped last year. Who knows what that's all about? But yeah, it was Night of Champions used to be the big pay-per-view. That was actually the whole point of it. Was every match had a title match. I honestly, I have not been paying much attention to. Again, I was working, so I saw Zero Raw last night. I've only read about some stuff. I got about half hour to an hour into SmackDown, and I fell asleep. So,
perfect.
I'm trying to get things done, around my house and stuff, and plus it's just been busy, trying to help my job right now and transition into this new job starting next week. So, anyways, yeah. So I kind of
for you.
Yeah, but I kind of missed out on that. But so I'm not too. I don't even know what's really going on for that Clash of Champions. Is there a big card out for it? If so, are they all title matches or is it not?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, to be honest, it's like your run of the mill pay-per-view. Oh, I mean, it's gonna be what they announced in Miz against Sammy. Is it Sammy? Miz against Nakamura for whatever title Nakamura holds, not Intercontinental. I don't know. He barely defends it. He barely even wears the damn thing. And it's Bayley Ember Moon for the SmackDown Women's. It's Becky against, I don't know, somebody. Isn't that horrible?
Becky against Sasha is my guess.
Becky
right?
against Becky against Sasha. That's right. So in Seth against, I don't know, somebody. This is how much I've been paying attention to, and part of it is it just didn't. This week, the show did not hold my attention the way that it did last week and the week before.
Well, let me ask you this.
I don't know exactly why that is.
Let me ask you this, because I was hearing that Sasha opened the show on Monday. Again, I did not get to watch Raw. This is the only things I've heard about.
Mm-hmm.
But that she opened the show and that the promo was not on point.
Yeah, I would say that's probably close. I mean, there were parts of it that I really liked that she did, but it was very clearly scripted in my mind, and she did a lot of looking straight at the camera. Not that thing, but there was no passion to us. She was just reading it. And I mean, when she came out, I was like, oh, cool, this is going to start great. And then they had the run in from Natalya to try to beat her up, and that didn't work. And it's like, okay, help me out here.
Do you think you're going to see Natalya be involved in the actual match when it happens and somehow get inserted into a three-way action?
No.
Like, do we see her cost Becky or something?
No, because I just don't see the point. To me personally, it seems like it could go further than the next pay-per-view with and Becky. They're not drawing it out, but I mean, apparently, maybe they're right on the button with that, because if Sasha's not gonna put a whole lot of passion in promos, then maybe they should get it out of the way. I mean, wrestling wise, it'll be great, but let's be honest. Becky has been. She's been good. She's not been good. She has been in the past on the mic. Would you agree?
Well, I think just the whole overall character of the man has now just been completely watered down. They had, because remember how they were talking like she was going to be kind of Austin-esque, and the things they were doing was very like Stone Cold, and all this stuff, and that's all talk that has stopped, and now you're getting that with Kevin Owens, and again, I think you said it best a few weeks ago on an episode of Becky hasn't been the man Becky that started all this since she got her nose broken. And it's just one of those things of an injury putting a stop on something that was just working so well and had so much steam and momentum. and then to get it stopped like that, right where it was just a key moment for it to really blow up, really hurt. And then it's WWE, they let her do what they did. They got her pop, which honestly, the way it all went down was awesome. That injury would have never happened. It would have been even better. You know what I mean? But it was just, an injury at the wrong time. It kind of slowed stuff down for her. And it just, it wasn't the same. And again, though, you got a company that's scrambling to change things and keep things hip. And every other week it's something new. And every week it's something new and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know if it's all completely her to blame. Plus, I mean, then they had to throw in the storyline of her and Seth and bringing out their relationship for real, which they just got engaged now too. So hope to God they don't start using that as an angle. God, could you just imagine?
I don't think they will. They didn't. I was say they didn't mention it at all yesterday. So I just don't. I think they saw that it doesn't work. That it's not playing with people. It's.
Yeah, it's.
I think too many people are hip to the fact that okay, this is away from work. Personal life, but anyway, regardless, it's just that whole thing where you're right. They get somebody that starts and say it with Becky because she could get a build, and she's getting an organic push from the audience, and then they decide I mean, whether they do it on purpose or not, they pulling her down. And it just, the whole thing goes, and people still like her. She's still one of the hottest talents on the roster, but it's just not the same, But and then I go back to that where, they're not writing it for me.
Yeah.
I'm the age that I am, and I like wrestling the way I like it. They're not writing this stuff for me.
No, but the other thing too, though, is I mean, like, how do they do that though? Like, how do you go from letting her do this one persona and then you just do these little tweaks, little adjustments, so then 6 months later it's like, well, this isn't what we started with. This isn't what everybody was on board with. You just kind of like beat it to death now. Like, the other thing too is Becky, the big argument was she was being held back and overlooked. Obviously that's not the case anymore. Obviously that angle is going to change, and I just don't think it's changed well with her. Not bad, but just to the point that it's kind of like there's not as much interest, I think, anymore. I think too,
I would have
the Natalia, like, that just seemed an unnecessary feud. Like, they were just filling time for a few weeks with that one. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, give her quality programs.
I think that's the key, and the key to the entire gamut here. They just do not seem, writers do not seem capable of meaning any kind of continuity or any kind of a story. Oh, and they find themselves in a spot where we got to do this, and some of it's because of ratings, some of it's because you just forget about stuff, and let's be honest, some of it's because they got a chairman who decides he's got to change shit 10 minutes before the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. I heard we'll hop around all over the place. I heard today that they're having a hard time selling out Raw and SmackDown at Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why they're bringing
in the Undertaker and Stone.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make any difference.
Well, they were doing deals too, like the buy one get one.
Yeah. To go back to having somebody that was getting a build, and I'm getting, like I said, I'm gonna hop around. Well, just hop around, do whatever you want today. Talking about somebody get build though, and then having it go sideways. I'm gonna pop up our here for the King of the Ring, and as you can see, Samoa Joe and Ricochet. Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric and Corbin. That makes sense. Elias. That. I put down Buddy Murphy. And I did this only because I figured it out. Chad will beat Benjamin. So Chad, you and I talked about this last week. Buddy Murphy was getting a tremendous push. He nearly beat Roman Reigns. He did beat Daniel Bryan. How does he lose to Ali?
Vince,
Because I have already put it up there.
yeah,
And I put it in bracket. I figured this is perfect, makes perfect sense.
I mean, it was a good match. I did see that match tonight. It was a great match, but
Oh yeah.
Ali's that guy that's got the small size, the great story of being the cop in, doing the overnights, and then just the, between his size and the athletic ability and the underdog story with him and all that stuff. Like, they love pushing this guy out. He's one of the next Cenas, you know what I mean? As far as like the kids are gonna love him. And he comes out with the glowing, like, doesn't he come out with like a glowing vest or mask or something? It's all like cool, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's
Like
Iron Man.
yeah. So like he's, is that maybe what they're gonna do? Is this who's gonna win the King of the Ring? I mean, at this point, because I think we've been wrong 2 weeks in a row now, like the week going in, and then the first week, like every person I've said that was gonna win has not. So at this point, I don't know what they're doing with the King of the Ring tournament, but I also feel like at this point, I don't really care, and I think that's also comes back to what we talked about earlier, where it's hard to take the King of the Ring as a special event when it's not. You're stretching it over like 3 weeks. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Like, make it a pay-per-view, make it a big deal like you used to, and then there's more prestige that goes with it. This is ridiculous. Like, this is just to fill time on their TV shows. Like, you're having that hard a time of filling time that you had to bring the King of the Ring back and stretch it over 3-4 weeks now. Like, what the shit? You got plenty of talent that not being used right now. Get them on TV. Start using them. Like, what do you mean you're having problems and we needed to do this? Again, I would have cared more about the King of the Ring if it would have maybe the first round on like the first week, get them done and then make the pay-per-view if it's to go. But again, like you said last time, they ran the King of the Ring in what, back in the day, 2.5 hours for a pay-per-view because they weren't really going 3. So you mean to tell me now where they're running almost 4-hour pay-per-views, we can't do just a King of the Ring pay-per-view? Come on, get the shit out of here. Like, come on, it's back in the 80s, it was like 2 hours and 37 minutes, like, and they got it all in.
Yeah,
like, come on.
Well, it's just people say, oh yeah, well, you shouldn't be ragging. I'm not the ragging on them. It's that then they seem to have a better handle on what was going on. I mean, yeah.
Well, and we're fans.
And I think part of that,
we're old school fans.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want everything to succeed because I like watching wrestling. I like to watch good wrestling, and I like to be able to think that because all the time put in from a kid. Back in the 70s and all through the 80s and watching the WWF grow to prominence with wrestling and all those pay-per-views that I paid an ungodly amount of money to watch back then. I think it might have been $19. It's that kind of thing that it's like I remember how it used to be, and it's evolution to me. So, and it doesn't seem to be evolving in a good way, if it makes sense. It seems like it's evolving in a cover your ass way, where they're more concerned about, oh my gosh, we have to look good. It doesn't have to be good. And then that's where I think the difference is between All Elite and WWE at this point. All Elite does not have to really answer to anybody at this point. It's a privately held company.
Right.
I mean, they do have to answer to, you can't just throw money down the toilet, but they don't have to answer to sponsors and shareholders WWE does.
It's great to
And
even just today that they had a press release because Cracker Barrel is an official sponsor of one of their matches
yeah,
for All Out. Just one of the
can you
matches,
believe
not
that?
even the show, just the match. Like that's, hey, they're taking pride in the people who are putting the money in and doing it. But yeah, they're definitely like that's the thing. They got to answer the Khan family, but Tony Khan's also like on the level with these guys where it's I want to put
Yeah,
on a fun, cool product that you guys want to put on. So let's do it. Like, there's no like, I know better than you. Like, no, he's not coming at it like that. He's coming at it like I have people
yeah.
together and collectively can put on an amazing show. So I'm going to back that up. And again, like I said, we'll get into it in a little bit, but they did take a pretty big hit for All Out as far as someone now being injured. But
yeah.
but that's when it comes back to, I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens with WWE because you got AEW about to kick off next year. Is it 2020 that XFL kicks off?
Yes.
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I believe it is. Yes.
Right. They just this week announced the team names and everything. That's Vince's baby. You'd be foolish to think he's not going to be 100% involved in that. So that's my question is when that happens a year from now, will we start to see that power shift and start seeing some of the other, family take over and actually start running the behind scene daily go scenes there? Or is he going to really try to like still have his hands completely on everything and then the XFL? Because that's just crazy to think. The guy's going to die. I mean, how he's not dead already.
Yeah. I hope he is involved with the XFL and he does step aside a bit. Simply because I think for him, this is not necessarily a challenge that he couldn't handle. But I think the challenge of starting an entire new company, an entire new league, is probably going to be more fulfilling for him than if he were to just, try to do all of it. Because you try to do everything, it's going to just turn to crap. But that's one thing about the NFL. I don't know enough about it at this point to know whether it's not going to be that kind of sort of scripted-y kind of garbage that the original XFL was.
It's not supposed
with
to
the
be.
Goofy names. And I mean, if basically what he's doing is founding a football league, that really shouldn't be a whole lot of things that he has to take care of. Because that's the kind of thing where that all rolls downhill. He's going to micromanage individual teams, even though he owns them all. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, well, I mean that is
that
is the talk, is that it's a legit league. He's not doing what he did the first time around, where no fair catches. Like they're gonna actually like play. It's gonna be a real deal. But they just had that other pro league, and sorry, football guys, I don't know what it was called, but it just folded after one season already. And that was supposed to be like the other big thing. Oh, there's a whole new football league, pro football league starting up, and it didn't work out. XFL didn't work once. I just don't understand. I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, maybe people will watch it because it's not going on during the NFL. I believe. I guess I don't know when their season's going to be. I wouldn't imagine he'd be dumb enough to be like, we're going to go right after the NFL.
I think it's a summer league. Spring and summer, I think.
I just don't know if they're going to get. I mean, look at arena football. If not having football year round was such a devastating thing in this country, why didn't arena football blow the shit up now? Because there's a league, but you don't hear much about it. You see it on TV from time to time, and if you're in one of the towns that it's in, like people like it, I guess. But it didn't like all of a sudden blow up because people are like, I need my football fix. So that's why I'm just kind of confused. Like, I don't, does he really expect that he's going to rival NFL someday with this? Like, I don't get it. Whatever. And maybe it's just whatever. I don't know. But, you know, like I said, King of the Ring should have its own pay-per-view.
We only went off the track just a little bit.
Do it.
You know? It's,
well, and you know, it comes back to this. I mean, we said it with the NXT announcement last week, which means he's going to have hands on that. They have good weeks, they have bad weeks. It's always going to be like this. Who knows, someday when he's not in control or, you know, not around anymore, things will be different maybe. Who knows? You know, but it's the thing is now is he's panicking. They're all panicking because of AEW. And yeah, like you said, some questionable calls, some, you know, writers not getting to write, wrestlers not getting to wrestle. Just a lot of weird stuff going on right now. And it's weird because I was just seeing something too, like Authors of Pain, like literally almost came back just recently. Yeah, like they were supposed to make their bring the team back during a tag team turmoil match. It didn't happen, but they've been off TV since January. You know, like why? Like, how did you have such this hot team with Paul Ellering and NXT? You bring them to the main roster and it just didn't work. They're big dudes. They should be able to go in there and as heels just crush. What the shit? And then you gave them Drake Maverick. Which actually, at this point, maybe have him come back with Drake Maverick. Might work out. It could help you.
Well, he's become such a joke now, though. You know.
Well, but that, you know, and see, that's. Do you feel bad for R-Truth at all, or not even him anymore because he ain't the champion? It's Elias now. But like, did you feel like bad at all? Because I mean, that was like that solidified him and Drake as you're never going to be taken serious. You know that, right?
Well, I think, but you know, I mean, let's be honest. R-Truth has talent. He is a good wrestler, but I mean, isn't he close to 50 years old?
Yeah, man, he's old. He's old as shit.
You know, I mean, he's close to 50, if not old. I mean, and
Jimmy's 35.
He's fantastic.
For real,
he's in fantastic shape. You know,
what's the dancing?
And there you go. But you know, so R-Truth, I think, is happy. I mean, I can't speak for the man. I gotta think that at this point in his career, he knows that he's not going to be made champion, and he's in a spot where he's able to participate in the programming, and I'm sure that Vince pays him well, and you know, I mean, everybody loves it. I don't know anybody who says, "Oh, that R-Truth, what a you know, piece of crap he is." I don't think that people see him for what he is, which is a talented that can wrestle when he needs to. He needs to put on a match. He can do it.
Yeah.
But he's much better as an entertainer. And much more entertaining, I think.
Yeah, there's no secret he's the comic relief now. He's kind of taken that Santino slot. So it's good for him, but then you got like Drake Maverick, where it's like you signed over here, you probably had hopes, you know, kind of in like the EC3 boat. Like, again, I get it, he's not huge, he's not all this, but I mean, you come in and you're the 205 Live general manager, and then all of a sudden you're just some dude who's chasing around this belt with your wife. Like, like I was looking forward to seeing them maybe let him and EC3 work together like they did in TNA, because they had a really good thing going with like the Hardys and some other people over there when they were together, when he was Rockstar Spud with EC3, and I thought it would have been great, but and especially with all the background stuff they did, like the little videos with him chasing during the wedding weekend, chasing the title and stuff, and how EC3 was kind of just there. Like it could have snowballed into them two working together again, and it hasn't yet. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's.
Well,
I mean, I like that they have that belt.
So it's. I too. It does give some of those guys a reason to run around. You know, and at least they're doing something rather than just sitting in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, granted, it's not that. I think there are going to be people that are on the main roster that go back down NXT, or maybe some people who never were at NXT that go down there. You know,
That's ridiculous.
and
I just think,
well,
I mean, you have 3 hours on Raw, 2 hours on SmackDown. Definitely on Raw, you can be fitting in a lot more. Like some of the segments nowadays, though, they let them go so long.
well,
I mean, you've had it where it's like 20 minutes in, and there hasn't even been a match yet.
Here's the other part of it. Tonight, we had the Roman Reigns threat on his life video package played twice. I don't know why.
Hey, I missed that, by the way. Did he apologize?
No, I can't remember. To be honest, I was distracted. What happened was, and we'll have to go back and somebody will correct us and say, boy, your wrestling show sucks. You don't even watch. But I believe something came out where Rowan said, oh, yeah, it was him or something. And Brian starts screaming, I trusted that man. That man's a liar. And he walks out and he's going to say something to Reigns. And Reigns is already standing out in a ring. And then Reigns spears him. So there's the seed for that feud. Which in a long roundabout way, they apparently didn't want Daniel Bryan to be involved in that, but it gives him a way to kind of shake Rowan off of him. Not that that was a bad thing that he was with Rowan. I thought that worked well.
I think it's all a ruse, though. I think that it's going to come out he really was the attacker, and they're just doing this to pull one over on Roman. And if that's the case, if I'm right, I appreciated that, because I do like Brian as a heel. He's an excellent heel, and it would be make for an excellent storyline of, like, I can't trust you, Rowan. You're a liar. And then also it comes out that, like, all this was really just Daniel Bryan mastermind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's going to be something like that. I mean, look, we got 3 more weeks. I think, is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks until the pay-per-view, and that's where it'll all happen. They're not. I mean, I don't think they're going to carry it over to another one, but it is what it is. One thing that you'll watch when you watch the Monday Night Raw replay, and I hope you aren't as disappointed by it as me, because when you mentioned you got 3 hours to fill, they did something that I can't remember what they call it, tag team chaos or some kind of garbage.
Yeah, that tag team turmoil.
And they had that was it. I mean, I knew it had to have some alliteration or some kind of garbage name. But you got the 2 guys that they slapped together for whatever reason, and they beat an established, long-time established tag team that's the world champions. Okay, whatever reason you want to advance. So what they do is the tag team to advance the individuals. So the tag team is relegated to crap. And by the way, that's another thing that Sasha said in her promo was, I had to be, tag team champions for a tag team that don't make any difference. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I was upset. And so, okay, well, now you just watered down the women's tag team. And so the tag team, got all these tag teams. They're wrestling, and I can't remember who the first one was. Again, I was just distracted. But it ends up that the OC and the War Raiders had a double disqualification for them. I think that protects them both. It's, and then they come out. Anyway, long story short, the team that wins is the very popular tag team that you've known for a long time as Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode.
Robert Roode.
And
glorious.
Yeah, whatever.
Love it.
Some people have taken to calling the tag team Rudolph.
I love it.
Which I think is pretty clever.
Run with it.
But it goes again to the point where, so now it's going to be for the tag team championship. It's the 4 singles wrestlers and 0 tag teams.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And they just makes zippity-doo-dah sense to me. And I don't know why they do that. I mean,
all this just to build a feud with Rollins and Strowman.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Because it's already like been kind of leaked that they're having a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell in October. So like all this is just to build that. So they're sacrificing their tag team division on Raw to build a one-on-one feud between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. Hey, man, at least SmackDown's going to try to do something interesting. I mean, I get it. It's frustrating to see that this is what they're doing. And again, so like I said, Authors of Pain. There's a bunch of other teams. There's a bunch of other wrestlers not being used. Your favorite, the Kabuki Warriors, just getting all shat on here. And it is what it is. And it's like, this is the best you're given. You about to have a competition in town here very soon, and this is the best that you're given. Is you're sacrificing tag titles for these guys?
I think poor Oscar's probably working at a sushi restaurant in New York City. She's
Maybe
probably trying to find something to do with her time. Actually, I think she's a graphic artist. She should make us a new logo. No, our logo's fine.
If
Oscar made us something, we'd use that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if any wrestler made us anything, we'd be glad to use it.
If any wrestler talked to us, we'd be happy to.
Like you said, NXT going in a second hour, going to be on TV. You're going to have more people getting news. You're going to see more people go down there like a Tyler Breeze situation. So hopefully that works out. And if it doesn't, though, someone like an Asuka, Kairi San, someone like, Shinsuke or, whoever else that's not being used to their potential right now, even like Bobby Roode. I mean, that's a guy that came in with such steam and momentum, and it was just like, yeah. But that's the thing, though. Do you feel that there's things that, because NXT is such a different crowd, such a more intimate crowd, because the crowd at Full Sail is what builds these people. What they do on those TV tapings is what the crowd sees and then reacts to. So those crowds down at Full Sail are solely responsible for making or breaking these people. Like, look at the Bugenhagen guy. Why they changed his name, I don't know. He was a hit, and all he did was play air guitar. People freaking loved it. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's that loss of translation when they come to that main roster, and you don't have just that NXT fan base watching now. You got that real broad fan base watching now. So you see people like Shinsuke, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. You see people like Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, Authors of Pain, like all these people, Heavy Machinery, who just aren't really getting probably what, the best they could. And like some of them, like a Bobby Roode, like his whole just momentum just crashed. Look at EC3 again. We brought him up again. The guy hasn't had a match. Has he had a match since he's been on the main roster? I honestly don't know if he had
one match. He had one match against Rose.
So I mean, it's just
remember that back Way back when?
With
Yeah.
with Reigns, you said?
No, Dean Ambrose.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, and it's just, man, yeah, it's just a lot of people like. But do you feel that it's these NXT people kind of? Do you feel there's loss that some of it gets lost from that shuffle when they move from NXT to the main roster?
I think a lot of it gets lost, and some of it gets lost because they're afraid that they have to make everything family friendly. To be honest, um, everybody's idea of family friendly is different.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, the times NXT, I don't see anything I would view any. I mean, is it a little bit more violent? Yeah. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna let my 4 or 5 year old watch WWE anyway. Because I think that's too violent for a very, very young kid. Some parents don't have a problem with that, and that's fine. That's their decision. If they're going to watch the regular WWE, in my view, NXT is really not a whole different. There's more. There's no more sexual connotations on NXT. I think than the main rosters are violent. There might be a little bit more physicality than on the main roster. Other than that, I think there's any. Do you? I mean, it does have that more kind of indie kind of feel. Where anything can happen. You can feel the difference. Know what the difference really is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of this. I mean, it's kind of this thing. I can tell what the difference is with AEW and WWE. It's more physical. It's more sexual in cases. At least I've seen. I was talking about Joey Ryan, but I think they're gonna. I think going on TNT, they're gonna have to tame that down a little bit, and they know that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what happens is, I think, again, I go back to what we talked about a little bit earlier. There's the fear of advertisers and sponsors and shareholders getting pissed off about stuff that they don't know about, and that happens all the time with everything. It's like you get something out of context and somebody loses their shit, and the reality that, for God's sakes, it happens. And that's what they're worried about, I think, with the wrestling, with moving people from NXT up to WWE or Raw or SmackDown. It's just that I'm concerned about.
Right.
So,
well, let's switch gears, man. I don't want to talk about
yeah,
that anymore.
I know, because it irritates you. Let's go.
Well, no, I
do it.
I came across this, and I want to get your take on here. So, former NFL player Rob can't talk now. Rob Gronkowski held a news conference on Tuesday to talk about his endorsement partnership with CBD Medic. Everybody on that CBD kick right now. Mask, are you?
It's good stuff.
All right.
Oh,
also, he talked about becoming a pro wrestler. He stated the following: "And with wrestling, I don't feel like I would be a full-time wrestler, but there is one thing I'm down for, and that's to do like one crazy match, like practice it for a little bit and go in like during a Royal Rumble and just go out there. I got my friend in WWE, practice it, do a full-on WWE match. I'm not saying win. Maybe like 5 years. I got the rest of my life to do this, but I'm saying I've always dreamed about doing that. Just one time, going in there and just going full out. So that may be a possibility, like one time down the road." So the Gronk is saying that there's a possibility we might get a one-off match with him in WWE. What do you think? If you ask me, the dude's jacked, got the body, can take a hit, so he'd probably take the bumping well. He's best friends with Mojo Rawley. He's already been in the ring once at a WrestleMania. This is the kind of thing that gives Vince McMahon a boner. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, and I think I can see it. It's certainly an attraction that people would go after. People would say, "Oh my God, Gronk," because Gronk is one of those polarizing figures. You either love Gronk or you hate Gronk. And I don't know that hate's the word. You think Gronk is a gigantic bro douche, and I think with that in mind, I think it would be he'd be good for a one-off in some way, shape, or form. And maybe it is with Mojo. Who knows? But I think just his name is a good draw, and I think Vince would be foolish if he's willing to do it to not use it. And to be honest, to use it while people still remember who he is.
Yeah, and there's been such a good relationship between pro athletes when they're done and coming to WWE. I mean, you've had the Fridge, remember, at WrestleMania throughout, Big John Studd, right? That's who he eliminated. You've seen,
Yes.
You've seen Mike Tyson. You've seen Floyd Mayweather. I'll never forget Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow. Remember that one? That was great.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And even going to WCW, you've got
God.
Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman and I can't remember what his name was, but he was like a lineman for the Carolina Panthers. Then Mongo McMichael.
Kevin Green.
Kevin Green,
Kevin Green was the guy with the Panthers.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, a lot of pro athletes that have sort of dabbled. I think I'm trying to remember, because one of the things, we're talking about was Shaquille O'Neal involved in anything?
Yeah,
it seems to me like
it was.
Was it WWE or?
Yep. Actually, he might have been in both.
He
He might have done a little something with WCW back in the day when he was like real hot in Orlando. I want to say he might have when Hogan was there. But his like big thing is he's done a few things with WWE, but like the big one was WrestleMania 32 Dallas, Texas, when they did the Battle Royal. He was a random entry.
Oh yeah.
Which was hilarious because I was there, and it was just like when the music hit, everybody's like, "Who the hell is this?" And then the name came up. It was like, "What? Why is Shaq in the sand?" Because he had his. That's when he had his face to face with Big Show, which then was supposed to become an actual match. Yeah. And then like there was weird stuff like WWE and Big Show were like he wouldn't work and wasn't agreeing to the money, and then Shaquille's like, "I've been working out, getting ready. Like this is your guys' issue. I'm ready to do it." And it was just weird and never happened. So I don't know if that'll. Bad. Yeah, because that would have been great. Him and the Big Show, that'd be so great.
Oh my God, I would pay money to see that today.
I would definitely.
Well, okay.
I would definitely.
You know, it couldn't be any worse than Undertaker Goldberg.
There's nothing worse than Goldberg matches, so whatever. Anyways, another big thing that happened this week in the world of wrestling, and another big AEW get. All Elite Wrestling has announced that they have signed a multi-year agreement with Tony Schiavone. You guys remember him from the good old WCW days. In addition to joining AEW's broadcast team, he's going to also serve as a senior producer for events within the company. So good to have someone that's going to be able to help them with like the live TVs, the live pay-per-views, all that. But I feel like they're overloading their broadcast team already.
I think you're wrong. Here's what I think happened. I think initially Alex Marvez is involved with the NFL and involved, I think, with the Jaguars. I think that's one of the reasons that he got that shot.
Which he's awful, by the way.
Alex Marvez was terrible.
Awful.
And not to say that he's not good at what he does, but he was not a wrestling announcer. It's not something you can just hop into. You and I have been announcers for many, many things. Believe me, the most scared I would be in my life would be to have to go and be an actual announcer for a pro wrestling match. Because I'm telling you right now, there is more involved in that than anybody thinks. And people grill those people all the time about how, they're terrible, but it's not an easy thing to do. And they tried Golden Boy, who I had never ever heard of, because Alex was not that good, and he did okay. But let's be honest, Tony Schiavone and JR is going to be a fantastic broadcast team,
right?
And is go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say though, because the thing is though, is they still have all those people. They're all still signed. That's what I'm saying by overload. Like Alex is still doing commentary. Golden Boy is signed. Like all of them have signed at least a year. So that's why I'm saying, like, have they overloaded? Like, where are they going to put all these people? Because they also have Alicia too, and Chris Van Pelt just signed.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yeah. So here's what I think. I mean, we've seen on the All Elite, being the Elite in roads to whatever event they have going on. Alex Marvez has kind of started taking this sort of statistician role, where he's sort of doing interviews and sort of giving statistics. He does good at that. I think they'll leave him at that. Golden Boy, who knows what the hell they'll have him do? To be honest, Excalibur, I thought, adds a lot to the matches. He's got a lot of excitement, and it seems like he's got a lot of knowledge about not only the product, but about these guys. And, so as far as that goes, I think Schiavone, JR, and Excalibur will be a great play-by-play.
I agree. And
the other people that are involved, man, who knows? But they got money.
Well, and I understand that, like, Alicia, and I understand Alicia Toot and Chris Van Vliet, I believe that's his name, right? Which both of them do great jobs of doing interviews on YouTube, just like kind of what we do. But I believe they're both going to be more of an interview background. Like, they're going to be back there doing work with the talent. They're not going to be doing any of the broadcasting, like calling. But yeah, it was just interesting to see that was what they were doing, because it just seems like they just keep adding people. So it's kind of crazy. And it's like, when is it too many people, though? When do you have too many players in the game? But yeah, I agree. If they go with what you said, that would be a stellar lineup for TV and pay-per-views. It would be great. But let's. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, just let's compare it. Let's compare it to WWE for a minute. You got a 3-man play-by-play. They've got at least 2 doing interviews in the back for each show. They may be the same person, but I'm just talking in terms of. So they've got at least 5 people, not 6 sometimes, because. What was it? Somebody called that blonde interviewer not Renee. I still think it's hilarious. But Charlie and they've all been on at one time or another on the same program on the same night. So they've got 6. There are at least, and then they have the other. So I don't think it's too much. In line with what we would consider normal, and I don't think it's overkill, because as you mentioned, I think the people that we're talking about, with Chris Van Vliet and Alicia, they're going to have very defined roles as far as interviewing. Alicia does a great job backstage, from what I've seen so far, and I watch the Chris Van Vliet interviews all the time. I think that's going to be a fantastic addition for them, and that's going to add a lot to their product, because the way that he does those interviews, if you haven't watched them, and you're watching this, when you get done with us, Chris Van Vliet. And holy cow, he does a tremendous job with these people. And he gets some really personal questions that, I think a lot of people might not ask, if that makes sense. Does that seem right to you?
Yeah, he does a real good job of like getting like the stuff you want to hear, but also just getting some cool stuff about the person. But I also like that he'll do some stuff when they're like, gimmicking it too. Like his interview with MJF in the hotel room when he gets room service in the middle of it is hilarious. And he's done it twice with him, and both times it's just like, so it's I like what he does. It'll be cool to see that. One big thing though that AEW is going to be fighting right now, not fighting, but definitely a blow to them, is this whole Jon Moxley situation. Again, Jon Moxley is now out. Staph infection in the elbow, going to require surgery. I don't know what the kind of time frame is on that kind of thing.
MRSA's kind of a nasty business, and I've known several people that had it. It can swell like crazy if it's not kept in check. They're just going to take that bursa sac out because that's what it is. We're going to have to watch him. I know a number of people who have had MRSA, and it's treated and goes away, and then somewhere down the line, 2-3 years, it pops up again. And it's a very quick ailment that comes on very, very fast and can really be life-threatening. So I think people said, "Oh my gosh, well he wasn't taking." It just happens, man. That's just one of those things that has nothing to do with his work schedule. It just has to do with the fact that you get it.
Just really poor timing.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I just hope he can be good to go by TV, which I don't know if that's a thing that's possible since he's having surgery.
His statement is that he thinks he can. So let's hope that he's right.
So and that'll make that match with him and Omega down the line now even better. A great replacement. Pac coming in, filling the spot. We all knew Pac was eventually making his way to AEW. It's going to happen a little sooner than people thought. Well, let's not say a little sooner because it was already supposed to happen and it didn't, but we knew down the line he was coming, and now that's going to get hurried up a little bit. And Pac and Omega is going to be a great match. You can't say anything bad about that. So great replacement, great fill in. Sucks because we've been getting such great stuff, when Moxley first debuted and took Omega out, and then that Fyter Fest he took Omega takes Moxley out. Like, there was some good, considering they don't have a weekly TV program, they did good with the build for this match. It was going to be a very cool match to watch. So again, very unfortunate, but it'll work out. The other scary moment though that AEW had too though was at a recent I can't remember. No, it wasn't AAA. It was B something. It was a B something promotion.
Oh yeah.
But Ray Phoenix Jr. Was carried out, hopping on a leg, and was sounding pretty bad.
I thought he broke it.
Yeah, so
that he broke it, but apparently
he's good. So
apparently he's okay.
But I mean, they're in a ladder match. Like, dude's
won't be
not
okay.
So it's, I mean, still some things with All Out that's like, but I mean, they're making the best of what they can do. I'm excited for it. Again, I'm mad that I can't watch it live, but I think that Pac's going to be a good fit to fit in there. But yeah, it was BTW, Big Time Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
That's
right, Big Time Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, it's we're gonna see those two get in the ring eventually, and it's gonna be great. But just real bad timing.
Now there is a match that they just announced on Monday that I'm kind of excited for, with one exception. SCU against a boy and his dinosaur with
Marco Stance.
And you know, I'm not a fan of his. I mean, I get it. It's like, okay, he's a goofy little character. But I mean, let's face it, that whole side is. But there's just something about Jungle Boy riding around on Luchasaurus's shoulders that just tickles me.
Yeah.
And part of it is because both of those guys can wrestle. They've already shown that they're both talented, and I think a match with SCU is going to make them look even better.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good match for them. But you know,
Marco I think the problem with Marco Stance is they haven't let him wrestle. Like it's been, he did a little sudden in their first battle royal.
It's always gimmicky.
Yeah. Where the thing is, he can wrestle. They just haven't really let him do it. It was actually funny. I just seen a clip of him the other day at a indie show where it was in a basketball gym, and he actually climbed up the hoop and did like a swanton bomb or something off. Not really that. He actually jumped, but he jumped off the top of the rim. Like he climbed all the way up and jumped off the rim onto like three guys standing down there. And it was pretty entertaining.
10 feet up.
It was pretty entertaining. So I'm interested to see what he can do when they literally like actually give him a match, because that hasn't happened yet. So I mean, he's awkward looking, and it's like this guy's gonna just get squashed. But I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So, and I haven't seen. I mean, I assume that Orange Cassidy's going to be doing something at All Out. I haven't seen it announced. Have you?
No, I haven't seen anything. To be honest, I don't know, man. They might just wait till TV to bring him out. You know what I mean? Because
you think
he's another one too that you got to do it right, otherwise it could come across weird, and you don't want to like screw this guy out of what could be a good thing for him. So I think we might see him at TV, maybe on the pre-show. He might pop up or something, but we'll see. Yeah, but
now I'll tell you, the thing that I'm excited to see is because I don't know that they're going to have a chance now to announce anybody. There's going to be a lot of surprises in the women's casino battle royal.
Yeah,
because they're talking about 21 entrants, and they have only announced, I think, about 12.
Yeah. Jazz. I don't remember all of them, but I know Jazz, Piper's,
Piper's daughter. Yeah.
Which I'm a fan.
Piper. That's what her name should be. Piper.
Isn't it Talon Piper or something like that? I don't remember. All I know is I'm a Piper
but it
mark.
Should be Piper. Don't you think I am too, but don't you think her name should be Piper?
I don't know. That's just a lot of P's, man.
Don't you think?
Come on, you're a radio guy. Do you want to have to be popping all the time?
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
And it didn't
call her Double P.
A
double P. No, I'm on board with her though, just because I love her dad. So I'm a fan already. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
So that'll be fantastic to see how that pans out.
Yeah, hopefully we get a surprise appearance from Kylie Ray.
Well, yeah, after all of her troubles, hopefully she'll be in the mix. Other thing that I'm kind of interested in is now I binge watched All Aglow on Netflix on Friday and Saturday, and it just made me recall that I'm kind of interested to see if there is an awesome Kong and the other Kong, Masha Kong. I don't know, but the Japanese Kong. Yeah, and because I gotta think that at some point the giant are going to battle, and I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. But didn't Aja get hurt or something? I don't know. It's going to happen. They
maybe
already, but I could be wrong on that. But it's going to happen. What'd you think of Glow?
I didn't like this one as much as I liked the first two.
Very, very little wrestling this season.
Yeah, it's more drama. I mean, in parts that they did that were wrestling, good. The parts that they did that were not wrestling were schlock drama, and it makes me feel bad because the first season was great, and the second season was pretty good too. This seems like too much extraneous garbage to me.
This whole season seemed like it was just a build for next season. You know what I mean? There was just a lot of things that you thought would happen, and they kind of did, and then it just, maybe we'll get more answers in the next season. Like, I don't know how they haven't had.
I don't know that I
like because I love Mark Maron. I think he plays that. I think he plays that role great, and I liked the little thing he had going with the one wrestler chick, and then like that. I want to see that in that storyline get addressed when it's like, well, wait a minute, you just said you loved me, but you didn't get the part, and now you hate me, and they left it at that. Like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see that, but you know. Hopefully the next season has more wrestling, because it was definitely lacking. But something that won't lack wrestling, maybe probably one of the last things we could touch on, but NWA, you know all about that, Mr. Mass Comedian X. NWA has announced that September 30th and then the October 1st taping of their new studio series will be held at the GPB Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Tickets are on sale.
In Atlanta.
Yeah, so NWA and Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, which it's so funny because if you're not hardcore and you don't realize it, like it's like, what do you mean Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins? Like, yeah, he's a wrestling fan. He owns NWA. What? You know what I mean? But he's really trying to make he really wants to bring it back.
They've done between he and Nick Aldis. They've done a tremendous job, in my opinion, of making something out of something that wasn't there. In essence, the feet in the ashes, truly, because Nick Aldis, when you watch how he carries himself, it's very much old school, very much the same way. When I watch him, I see a lot of Ric Flair in the fact that he carries that belt with such pride and I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say arrogant. It's earned arrogance, if that makes sense. He does a tremendous job in the series that they did, the 10 pounds of gold. Really, to keep that whole thing alive is fantastic, and I'm excited to see where they'll end up. And even, to be honest, even if it's just on YouTube or some other streaming service, I would probably watch that over a lot of things, simply because I know what I'm getting with that, and there is some history to it.
Yeah, it's cool to see it come back. I'm a big guy. I'm pushing. We're pushing to have the NWA title be put on the line next year in Waterloo, Iowa,
Hall of Fame?
At the Hall of Fame weekend.
Oh my gosh!
Because it would only make sense since the original NWA National Wrestling Alliance was officially formed in Waterloo, Iowa. So why in the hell would you not bring that thing to the Hall of Fame weekend? And there's some very kind people who are regulars for that Hall of Fame weekend that are also petitioning on Twitter to make sure that Wes Briscoe gets his shot at it, being that his uncle definitely held that belt for a while. So crossing fingers that we can make that happen next year. But it's very cool to see that he's trying to restore this just legendary name in wrestling.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gosh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, because you're definitely coming with us next year.
And as long as I have enough advance notice, I can go just about anywhere.
Well, I'll get you those dates next week because they came out already. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but they've already announced next year's Hall of Fame weekend.
Yes. One other thing
Yeah.
I mean, actually, two other things. I mean, that's a great thing. There's just so much stuff that happened. Did you happen to see? And I don't have a picture of, but did you happen to see the picture of PCO jumping out of the ring where there's nobody and landing on his goddamn head?
No.
And he's had to have 17 stitches right above his goddamn eye, because the guy's insane. The guy is just goddamned insane.
Really?
Look it up. I wish I would have had. Oh my god, dude! It's a looking picture.
Oh.
I've seen a couple of them. I haven't seen any footage of him actually jumping out yet.
Have you heard like what the deal was? Like, did he think someone was there?
No, for some reason he dove out of the ring away from the other guys. They're out on the other side of the ring. He dove on that side. I haven't heard any indication whether he was confused. I mean, he could have been. He could have had his clock, cleaned a little bit, and it might have been a little woozy and jumped out of the run. But I mean, that'd be kind of unheard of, don't you think?
Right.
To be that concussed that you would not even know where the hell you were, but still you wanted to jump out the ring?
Right. Yeah, I'm looking online, and all I see is it says that he got 17 stitches, but it doesn't say like exactly what happened to do it. But
oh god, I can't remember where I saw the picture. I'll see if I can't find it, and we'll put a link down in the bottom here, because it's the stitches are like in a Y up above his head, and it looks like, oh yeah, that's only going to add to his character and his legend.
Crazy.
So there's that, and that's the reason to put him on that thumbnail for our thing, because he's insane. The other is that Sean Spears and Peyton Royce officially got married, I guess, over the weekend.
Yeah.
So congratulations to them.
The perfect 10.
Now that means that Billy Kay will have to find something else to do.
She can do me.
Just kidding.
She can do me. I will sign up for that job.
I gotta say there's something about Billy Kay. There's something about her hips that are very attractive, but then when she opens her mouth, annoying. Although I think she's probably some of the stuff watched offline on Twitter. She's probably one of the funniest people I think I've ever seen in my life.
She's hilarious.
Just absolutely a nut.
I've watched her quite a bit on the Up, Down, Down Xavier Woods channel.
Oh, yeah.
And like they're hilarious. Like she in particular is hilarious. Like
I
freaking love the Iconics. I think they're great. I mean they may not be the best in the ring, but I think they're great. And
doesn't make any difference.
No, it doesn't. They played the role right. It's awesome. And I think they could have been a bigger deal as the tag champs and stuff, but that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that they were able to keep their shit together, considering one's in WWE and one's in AEW, and they're able to do that.
Yeah.
But, so that's very cool. Plus, hey man, good job, Sean. I mean, that Peyton Royce is a good looking lady. So
yes,
but and then I heard a rumor that, and I don't know if it's true. I guess I would have to look in, but they were saying that Finn Balor might have gotten married secretly.
Oh, maybe that's why he took off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're saying that he got married possibly secretly, and then obviously everybody knows now that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins got engaged. So WWE, man, people are just like freaking humping like bunny rabbits back there. Apparently,
there's gotta be something in the water. That's what old people say. There's something in the water. It's the fuck water.
I mean, what are you gonna do though? Yeah, who gives a shit? We can say whatever we want.
Yeah. Well, we do have one person that's watching, and we appreciate that. At this point,
tell your friends live every Tuesday night at 9:15 Central. Well, yeah.
That's 2 a.m. UTC if you happen to be watching like somewhere else. So here's one of the things that I didn't talk to you about, and one of my ideas. I think it would be fun if we had some kind of a contest where we had people come on as our guests and cut promos against each other. And then we could have a prize or something, like maybe a I can't do that. A masked comedian X hat.
The hat makes you disappear. It's great.
Hey, I did it.
There
It's
it
a
is.
nice hat. You got one. There it was. Okay, but it's a nice hat. Or something like that. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
We just have to, and maybe what we might do is I know a lot of comedians that are local here that are into wrestling that would probably enjoy doing that. So we could do that and have people vote. I don't know if we want to do that as part of the show or if we want to do that as a separate entity or what we want to do. But it might be fun to do regardless. And if we had to, it'd be more fun if it was together so they could cut a promo against each other. And then we could have people say, oh, yes, we like that one or we like that one. And then
I think we just need to do our own little tournament. I think we just need to do our little tournament.
Great.
King of the promos instead of King of the Ring.
That's a little bit pizzazz, that name.
Yeah. I just think it'd be
like
a yearly thing.
I think it'd be fantastic. I think
Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, we could do it. We could do it just like King of the Ring style. Drag it out for 9 years. And wait until we'll win the champion when we have 500 subscribers.
Yep. Crown the champion in 2023. Started it in 2019.
Hell yeah! So you start working on promos today, kids.
Tell your friends.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, and I'll send some stuff out, and I might. Marty DeRosa, don't you, from Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with him in Michigan and Indiana a few years ago, and he's an interesting guy. I'd like to see if we can't get him on too. I know he's wrestled Death Colt, and actually, big deal. He had his first match. I think Colt trained him, but he's a very funny dude, and I think he'd be a blast to get on here
for sure.
So I'll see if he remembers me. Well, a lot of times people don't remember me.
I don't know how that's possible.
Oh, yeah.
You just gotta start wearing the mask all the time.
I can't wear the mask all the time. I can't wear. Honest to God, what do you think would have happened had I been wearing this mask when I hit that guy with the car?
Oh God, he probably would have been like, "It's all right, dude, whatever."
I popped out, and he would have just run off.
Yeah, he'd have been like, "It's all right."
No, you didn't hit me. You didn't hit me. You didn't hit me.
I think, we just need to get someone who's good at tailoring clothes, and we can make that a little bit bigger till we can get your custom one.
Well, this one isn't bad. I mean, I can feel it in my jowls, but the reality is that I have the flap off. It's unstrung because, like I've said before, it's 10 pounds of face in a 5-pound bag. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. But anyway,
yeah. Well, I like it. It's a good idea with the promos, and man, next week, dude, we're gonna have all kinds of All Out talk.
Oh my God,
it's gonna be crazy.
We're gonna have so much stuff to talk about. It's gonna be, oh my gosh.
I would say that we would live tweet, which we'll try to do during shows when they come on, but you will have the opportunity to. I will not be able to. So nobody blow me up.
Trying to do that.
Yeah, do it. Nobody blow me up on the social medias though Saturday.
Well, maybe I'll consider doing a live commentary for All Out. That might be interesting. I'm sure nobody else will be doing it on YouTube. But you know how I like to be original. But anyway, is there anything else that we missed? Do you think? Oh, just as a real quick aside, do you think that that LAX will make an appearance at All Out?
LAX? I don't know. Why is that a thing? I guess I seen something about LAX. I just didn't read it.
The last I heard was that they wrestled their last match for Impact, and I think their contract was up. And it was talked about, and then sort of I haven't heard anything more about it. Also, do you think Punk will make any kind of appearance at All Out? He's going to be at StarCast. It's in his hometown.
Man, this is a good way to end the show, because that's been the question since All Out was announced in Chicago. And then the gasoline I got thrown on that fire when his name got announced for StarCast. I don't know, because I still, in the back of my mind, feel like, I mean, maybe not, because I guess Shane hasn't really, I don't even remember. Was Shane McMahon on SmackDown today?
No.
Okay. So,
no, he was not.
They were, running the whole best in the world thing with Shane, that it just seemed it seemed like they were really talking to him. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that if you weren't?
Yeah.
Why would you do it if you weren't? So I don't know. I've heard that people in AEW feel that he might still go back to WWE someday. There's still the people who believe he's going to AEW. And then there's those people who are like, he's probably not going to ever wrestle again, which obviously isn't true. He did that run in at that indie show in the ski mask a few months back. So, man,
yeah, but
I mean, if he does, though, I mean, man, will WWE be shaking in their boots. You want to really have shots fired when you're about to go on TV? Bring CM Punk on your pay-per-view.
Well, and the other part of that whole thing was that they used the same little stars that he used in their poster. They've left those kind of Easter eggs, or the same kind of little Easter eggs that were left with Moxley.
Yeah, the only thing with the stars that's hard for me is that's on the Chicago flag. So, like, it's in Chicago. It's on the.
Don't ruin.
But it's just
don't ruin. ruin my.
I know. I mean, it's huge that he's at StarCast. Because I mean, WWE ain't gonna be able to be like, hey, do you want to just come to an access session for Mania Week? He's gonna be like, yeah, no. You know what I mean? And like, I don't think he's entertained WrestleCon, or maybe he has, I guess. And he's done the Comic Cons and all that, but I mean, like, for this being an AEW basically exclusive fan fest for their stuff, that's a pretty big deal that he agreed to be there. I get that it's in Chicago, but I mean, the other thing too is he's got those. Well, I guess, here's the other thing though, because he had that close ties with Pro Wrestling Tees. Pro Wrestling Tees has a very close tie with Colt Cabana. Obviously, things between Colt Cabana and CM Punk are not what they used to be. At least that's what's been said. So it's like, did any people take the hit like that? Like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people around AEW who are very, very close to Colt Cabana. Is that going to make it awkward when he's around or anything like that, to the point that maybe he don't want to be around there? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because, it's never a good deal when you end up suing your so-called best friend for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, I've got some papers that you'll have to sign. Yeah, you know how it is. Take advantage.
I don't know.
It'll be exciting. I won't cross my fingers, but I would certainly be happy if I did see that. So, all right. Well, it was another fantastic show. We thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Check out our Patreon if you'd like to do that. So we've got a t-shirt ship if you'd like to buy a Masked Comedian X-Cast t-shirt or hoodie or anything like that, and we will leave that link down in the comments once the show is over as well. Thank you very much for watching. For Base.
Yeah, also, Yeah, and if you're watching this,
go ahead.
If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, tell your friends and join us live every Tuesday.
Yeah, life is fun because we can talk. Actually, comments up on the screen. If we. Anyway, all right. Big Ace, I'm Mask X. We will see you next week on the Mask Comedians Cast.